The king of the split push, the absolute 1v9 titan. Today we're going to be looking at the #1 Yorick Worlds gameplay. My good friend Slogdogs, I played against this guy a lot. He sent me his gameplay last night. I messaged him on Discord. I'm like, mate, I need an absolute banger for a YouTuber. I'm going to make one on you. I've seen you carry games before from seemingly unwinnable positions. As we know at the moment, there's a pretty sizable advantage by going to optimizing towards split push builds. So for example, with Slogdogs, his whole strategy is we rush the hullbreaker, which you can obviously generate really sizable leads from tower plates, and it gives you an insane amount of stats. So obviously with hullbreaker, when you're isolated, it gives you 200% value. I cannot explain how suppressive this matchup is to play if you're behind. We have a Fiora with Ignite. Another good friend of mine, River, is his opponent today. River is a very high elo top lane. I think he ended rank 5 last season or something ridiculous like that. He's also a Riven player. So we're going to be able to see a pretty spicy matchup today. Sloggy himself said to me that it's a pretty, looks like it's a pretty rough game, but then he's able to make some pretty clutch plays to turn it around. So we're going to be dissecting his gameplay today. I know this matchup personally from first-hand experience because I know exactly kind of like what he looks for and like how he tries to make his champion work. Yorick is very weak level 1. He only has Q, and he's also got no flash, no ignite. He walks out of the Fiora range because obviously when you walk out of Fiora's range, the vital resets. It was a pretty bad vital there. That being said, Yorick's level 1 can be pretty potent if you just start to trade with him here because it kind of is just like a Yasuo level 1 where he can just get Q auto reset with his Q, but not as strong as Fiora. Fiora does have the flash and ignite as well, so if he ever extends even a little bit, Fiora can flash on the other side of him and then ignite him and then kill him straight off the bat. Runes will be on the start of the screen, at the start of the game. I'm going to explain pretty much everything that he goes for in this matchup here as well as we go throughout the game, but as you just saw the runes explained at the start. He goes Conqueror, obviously, to maintain a bit of kill pressure on the Fiora. Fiora's a very formidable side lane champion as well, obviously. Yeah, that deals true damage, so even though Hullbreaker gives him a lot of those defensive stats when he's isolated, Fiora's true damage is really going to help shred through those. So he takes the Conqueror so he can kill her before she kills him. Now, to explain his strategy, as I said before, Yorick is quite weak level 1, so he usually gets pushed in, but it's when the bounce happens that it starts to get pretty troublesome for the enemy top laner, because his ghouls spawn, which reinforces the wave, and if he hits his E on you, you can't really trade back into him because the ghouls are on you as well as a stacked wave is coming into you, so you just have to let the wave crash. When that happens, if you're on the opposing side, so the Fiora side, you want to stand near the ghouls because that means he can't walk up to the tower and hit and get his demolish procs. Slogdog always goes demolish because he's obviously playing a very side lane split push oriented champion, so he's going to be playing for the gold through tower plates and also through the actual tower gold itself. Obviously, Tier 2 tower gives 650 gold or something ridiculous like that, so he usually actually plays not only to his mechanical strength because he's just a Yorick demon, but he also plays towards the gold conditions that the rest of the map gives him. As we see, that E is a really annoying and troublesome spell to deal with. River putting a lot of pressure on the side of him though, not really giving him anything for free. Nidalee wants to converge here, but we are down a summoner, so obviously we're missing a combat summoner on the side. The Yorick doesn't have flash, so this could turn pretty pear-shaped if we're not careful. I also know Chowhound as well. The Nidalee on the other side is quite a good Nidalee player. Maybe we look to fight this still, maybe not. We do have the Silestrom here. Guys, Yorick's stream as well, all of his content will be in the description below. He's a streamer, he streams every day and he makes educational Yorick content. Of course, you guys go check him out, he's very, very entertaining. Good friend of mine, very funny. Has a very unorthodox playstyle that I'm sure we can all learn from. The first time I ever versed Slogdogs, it was an absolute rip and tear because I just didn't know what I was in for. I started roaming and then next minute he was in my base and I was like, what the hell's happening? I was 3-0, I won lane, but then I left to go help my team and then he just took my entire map and then I was down items all of a sudden because he just gets so much gold from split pushing and his CS per minute is just so good. As you see, he gets a really clean reset there. Obviously the skirmish went really towards the side of the Yorick, but we're going to be able to see how he translates that into the rest of the lane. He should be able to pick up his pickaxe or phage here. Yep, goes for the phage straight away. So obviously a component of Hullbreaker. We rush Hullbreaker in this matchup. We rush Hullbreaker all the time on Yorick. This item itself, and by the way, this item is actually getting a nerf very, very soon. So I think it's just going to be that you can't cast abilities on the tower anymore. So Yorick Q, Fiora E, Fiora Q, Jax W. Well, you can. It doesn't give them more damage like your auto attacks do, if that makes sense. So either way, that'll be a pretty, I feel like it's a good nerf. I feel like Hullbreaker is just in a bit too good of a spot because the main issue with Hullbreaker is that you can't, when Hullbreaker is a 2800 item and it's a 200% efficiency item. So when Hullbreaker has been completed, the opposing champion, so in this side, the Fiora, will probably be sitting on Iron Spike Whip and Caulfield's Warhammer and maybe a Ruby Crystal because that's about the same cost as Hullbreaker. Because he obviously goes longsword as well to stop himself from having to like offset the hullbreaker spike any longer by going a Doran's item. So he goes longsword refillable here, not wasting any gold. So he can get straight into his hullbreaker, his maximum efficiency item, which obviously gives him those plates early. The biggest issue that I have as well when I play into this matchup is by the time he's finished hullbreaker, because he goes so much commitment to not wasting gold early, is that bit of a spicy fight here, is you can't contest hullbreaker when you only have mythic components, and even still mythic kind of loses to hullbreaker because hullbreaker is just such an insane item. Like by the time, like what he does, and what a lot of people have the main issue with hullbreaker is that obviously you can't really leave the side lane, which is not really what Yorick wants to do anyway, but it just gives so much value that he just gets all of his gold. So by the time the other top lane is just farming conventionally to like their items, hullbreaker has allowed Yorick to get like an item and a half where he's just so much more useful than the enemy top, and the enemy top can't, like the top side of the map just can't be contested. Yorick is just such a demon. He can barely even be 2v1 when he's got the hullbreaker. As we see maybe a 2v1 angle. Let's just see how he plays this out. Level 5 Fiora, I think they're looking for this. Ooh, this could be spicy. That was a really good W by Fiora because she used the W on the wall. So the displacement from the wall actually stunned Yorick. So very, very well played by River. As I said before, he's not a pushover of a player. Just going to speed up to where Yorick TP back to lane, TP's back to lane. Gets his pickaxe here. So he's obviously only a few hundred gold off the hullbreaker now, which is where things get really troublesome for the Fiora. One thing as well is Fiora's wave clear is obviously not that great. So having to deal with the ghouls as well as a stacked wave can be quite difficult for the Fiora. Fiora also not having TP. So what's going to happen here? We hard push this wave. As we see, he's going to look for these plates here. So we got the demolish. He should be able to get 2 plates by the time Fiora gets back. This is the biggest strength of him. But like I've been punished by this so many times. He really, really teaches you how to get his basings off. Alright, so we're just going to protect ourselves from a gank again. It'd be really good if Diana, obviously we saw there was a bit of dragon skirmish bottom, but we don't want to get re-ganked by the Diana because that would actually set us a fair bit behind the Fiora. So playing it safe, very conservative, knows he has a hullbreaker to play around. The rest of the map's not looking too bad. We've got a kill and an assist mid lane and a kill and an assist top lane. This is where things can get really annoying, dealing with this Maiden. Oh, it's so annoying. And he keeps it alive really well too. Like every time you have an opportunity to take it down, he just piles it away from you so you can't take it down, and all the side lane pressure remains even though Yorick's not there. Like look how much damage it's doing to Fiora. She's literally just lost a third of her HP for no reason. And then she tries to attack the Maiden, and then he just hits E on her, and she's half HP. So this is where it gets really dangerous because he's not even a hullbreaker yet. Oh, he needed to hit that Q. If he had flash there, Fiora was dead. Unlucky. This is where it gets really dangerous because Fiora's very, very low now, so she risks being dove by the Yorick. She gets hit by 1 E and she's just dead. Oh, too greedy for those plates. Unluckily, taking a couple tower shots there, so we can't pick up the plates. Fiora maybe going to get dove by the Braum pathing up here. Let's just see how things go. So, like, in this situation, it gets really difficult because, and I've been in the Fiora situation many, many times, is where you're trying to clear the wave and Yorick just throws an E at you, and then you just get half HP'd. And you haven't even done anything yet, and then Yorick just walks up to you and dives you with Ignite, and there's just nothing you can do about it, and then he takes your entire tower, and then all of a sudden you're an entire item behind, and it's just the worst thing to play against. So we're about to see the absolute shred of the tower here. No, we're going to go attend the fight. He obviously elects the skirmish as more important than the tower plates. Fiora should fall here. Alright, this is where he's going to be able to push his advantage really, really heavily, as the bottom side is actually getting pushed in though. Lucian and Nort doing a really good job to deny Jinx the farm. So we've taken 2 plates so far, just last hitting 72 CS to the side of 58 on the Fiora. Obviously Fiora still scales very, very well though, so not out of the game. Taken 3 plates here so far, maybe look for a 4th. Fiora obviously doesn't have that TP, so she's going to have to path all the way back to top lane. Looks like Fiora is actually opting for the hullbreaker match as well. I think hullbreaker is pretty good on Fiora. She's a bit more mythic dependent than Yorick, but either way, the hullbreaker is definitely not too bad on her. Obviously, a lot of other bruisers like Riven and Aurelia probably can't really build hullbreaker too much, but it definitely synergizes with Fiora's tower take at the moment, obviously with her Q auto resets and then her E auto resets as well. He's easily sitting on hullbreaker gold here, so we're going to see him base, pick up his hullbreaker, come back to lane, and start to assert a bit of dominance. Skip ahead. Hullbreaker and Dirk. So this is another part of Slogdogs, and I don't even know if he pioneered this or what, but we're going Lethality. So he always goes Prowler's Claw because obviously Yorick lacks a lot of mobility. He has no gap closes. He just has his wall to kind of box you in. So he goes Prowler's Claw. So what he does is hits his E and then he Prowler's Claw on you, auto Q, and you literally just get 100 O'd. It's like a Renekton W damage. It's absolutely insane how much damage this does. On Riven, I go Gore Drinker, Death Dance, Tabby, and he still's one-shotting me under the tower, and I just don't understand how it works. Fiora can't contest him here. There's just no way. Like, look how much damage he's literally taking no damage. He hits E and she just dies. Like, what can Fiora even do here? There's just nothing. He tried to predict the Q over the wall. Very smart. Unlucky. Skip up a little bit. So Fiora has to base here. There's just nothing she can do. Nidalee's also playing topside. See, she's going for Herald. Fiora pinging the Herald here. But Nidalee could probably just kill Fiora, honestly. So he's going to keep pushing down the top lane tower here. So we push Fiora off the Herald. Fiora's going to have to take the base. Dirk is going to be Prowler's Claw very, very soon. First tower is easily going to go across the side of Yorick. Once he gets these items as well, minions just fall. Like, he farms the wave so fast. So we want to take this as well. Like, obviously you don't want to waste your Demolish proc on that either, because you can use it on tier 2. Fiora's still in the base, so you might even be able to get Demolish on tier 2 here, actually. But he just becomes an absolute menace. With this, the amount of stats that Hullbreaker gives, he's just literally, like, you can't even 2v1 him. And he always, one thing I've noticed about Sloggy as well, he plays to item spikes really, really well. So he always, like, takes, whenever he has a good buy, he'll always just base for it. He sees there's more things to be gotten. So there's plates bot. So we're going to rotate bot now. Obviously, the map's opened up a little bit. We've got 3 people mid, Diana posturing towards the dragon. So we're going to be starting to look for... we can actually attend the dragon fight because Fiora's top lane with no TP. And we have a big item advantage, so we could be pretty formidable in these dragon fights. We're going to head bot here, though. We've got 2 minutes to take these 2 plates. Diana might be caught. Let's just see if they... No, they don't see her. Surely we turn around here. Sloggy, what are you doing? Help Nidalee, bro. Okay. Diana takes the Nidalee down. Plates are more important. This man has a tunnel vision on the plates. Absolute plate demon. Guys, if you're enjoying this type of content, like the last video they did on Xiao Qiao Meng with Aatrox, went absolutely astro. You guys couldn't have been more supportive. Like, I absolutely love the little family we're growing here today. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like and some feedback on the videos, and a subscription would also be very greatly appreciated if you enjoy this type of content. Feedback is always appreciated. Yorick taking down the Nautilus after he stopwatches there. We're going to pick up the Diana too. Just still a demon in these fights. Hullbreaker losing a lot of its value, but he's just still so tanky from his level advantage from top. Also with his item advantage, Caulfield, Warhammer, and Dirk doing a lot of damage there. Just can't really fight. Like, it was a pretty scrappy one because I think they'd used a lot of Nidalee prior to the dragon fight, but either way, that's going to allow him to pick up this entire tower's worth of gold and the plates that will remain. Another 460 in the bank. We're almost 2 items up, and Fiora's probably just about to finish her Hullbreaker, and I think we're sitting on Prowler's Claw Gold. His strategy is so unconventional, but like, he's just identified the weaknesses within this champion's kit, and he's just rectified them with items. It's like, it's kind of like, it's not like Bulse, because he doesn't int, he plays very smart, he's a very, very smart split pusher. But like, with the weaknesses within Sion's kit, Bulse rectifies them by just farming and proxying and stuff like that. Like, you identify the weaknesses within a kit, and then you adopt your playstyle, all the items to fixing those problems. So with Yorick, obviously he takes the Prowler's Claw for gap closing and more potency in the side lane. We can obviously dive, all that kind of thing. We take the bottom side Krugs here to deny even more resources off the Nidalee, off the Diana, off the Fiora. We take those, still got a bit of a CS lead here. Obviously Fiora was allowed to just sit top that entire time, which is why they were able to take so much. Bot side, they get the dragon, got a couple of kills. We have the Prowler's Claw tabby completed, which is going to be pretty annoying to deal with. Fiora on the way of her, I think she's going into Trinity here with that Sheen. Definitely not a bad item at all on Fiora. It's quite good into Yorick as well, because you get that movement speed as well as attack speed to clear the waves and hit little ghouls. Let's see what he does here. So from here, because we're such an insane side lane presence, like if anyone leaves side lane, he's just going to take your entire base. They might want to be starting to draw attention, because Fiora can't just go and attend these fights and leave this Yorick, because he's just going to rip the base apart. She has no TP to attend either. Like, the reason I'm so wary about this kind of thing too is just because I've done this before. I've left lane, I've gone to help with fights, and then I neck min, like look how fast he pushes his waves. Neck min, my base is just gone. And there's just nothing they can do. You can't stop this just ridiculously strong Yorick. Like, if Sloggy's seeing Fiora on his Braum right now, and he's just like rubbing his hands together, like what is the... Okay, I want to see a dive here. I want to see a dive on this Xerath. We have the TP coming out of Xerath. Xerath has no flash. Hopefully he's been communicated that. Xerath recognizes how strong this Yorick is. This is Omni, he's not a bad player either. Just one-shotting this tower casually. Another 650 in the bank. 600, sorry. I feel like someone's about to die. Alright, we have 3 bot now. Let's see if Yorick can make this work. Like, just look how much damage. He's like literally just one-shotting this Nautilus. What are you doing, man? Why do you think you can just walk up to him like that? I don't think he's used Prowler's Claw yet. Okay, is this a 1v3? Like, look how insane this item is. Just like that, the game is over. That's literally just a game-winning play right there. Just goes to show the absolutely insane power of Yorick. Prowler's Claw still up. Oh, so unlucky. That was almost a 1v5 angle. Holy shit, that was actually pretty sick. Holy fuck. He said there was some pretty juicy plays in here. I didn't expect something like that. Sloggy, you're giving us a treat today. We'll skip ahead. Let's see what item... So the next item he goes for as well is the Serylda's Grudge. So again, I've played against this item. The ghouls proc Serylda's Grudge. So if a ghoul is hitting you, you are being permaslowed, and it is impossible to get away from unless you attack the ghouls. It's so annoying. Like, I play Riven, one of the most hypermobile champions in the game, and they're still annoying. Plus, they hurt. They hit like a fucking truck. So these little Serylda Grudge ghouls with the Lethality as well, if you have no armor, they're going to shred you, and you can't even like really do anything about it. Anyway, we head back top lane here. We have a tier 2 tower sitting top. Let's start to look for that gold. Another 650 in the bank, please. We're on 2.5 items to Fiora's 1.5. No one else is even close in the way of items. Level 12, the highest level in the game easily, the highest CS in the game easily. Sloggy just putting on a masterclass of the side lane. Granted, I'm not going to say this has been like just a top gap, because obviously Fiora got very unlucky with that early skirmish where the Silas roamed up and Xerath obviously couldn't roam. So he did get very lucky with this early skirmish, but you just see how like potent Yorick can be when he gets ahead. Like really pushing this stuff. Yorick, like this Xerath can't even stand near the tower, surely. He just Prowler's floor and he dies. There's his stun gone, demolish, we just one-shot this tower, nice. Half HP gone off 3 creeps. We see a bit of a dragon fight about to happen. Xerath can't attend, no TP, but someone has to be matching this Yorick. It actually becomes a point where the mages is probably better off attending the Yorick on the side lane as opposed to the bruiser, because obviously mages with that range can clear the wave. They can play a little bit more defensively. For example, like I had a game against Slogdogs the other day and my mid Ari went to deal with him later on because I got weak sided really heavily and I was literally a cannon minion compared to this Yorick. And Ari dealt with him very effectively. We're going to be taking the Herald now. I'm going to absolutely shred this Herald to get breaker from the base. Just even more split pushing power, why not? Okay. The Herald's dead already. It's just crazy. I'll never get over how much damage this guy does. I don't get it. It's... Oh, he just makes the kit work so well. We do have 3 topside though. We have to be careful. He'll one-shot this Diana if she comes over the wall. Yeah, probably wouldn't, mate. Just a suggestion. Now, let's see what he does with the macro here, because we do have Baron coming up in the next minute and 20 seconds. We do know that there's 3 topside, because we have a little bit of vision, a little bit of information telling us where the enemy champions are. So it'll be interesting to see whether he goes bot and then plants the Herald there and then TPs to Baron, or what we're going to do, because Xerath can't really match him anymore because he has the Prowler's Claw. So we do base. He's got Serylda's Grudge gold for sure. 3 items completed to the Fiora's 1.5. We had bot with the Herald. We do have TP and Ignite, so they can definitely just look to play for the Baron here. Obviously, Xerath attending the side wave is not optimal, but it's something that has to happen. We have a 2v1 bot here. Look, this is the power of Serylda's Grudge. Look at this Yorick. Look at this, just shut down like that. Flash and heal, just doesn't expect the damage. One shot. Again, a game-winning play. So let's see, if he hits an E on this Diana, surely she just dies. Like, look at this damage! Can he finish him off? Oh my god, no way. Naughty! This Serylda's Grudge. Naughty! Let's see if he can turn this around. Can he? Oh, the E? Oh, the dodges? No way. Sloggy! Oh, Sloggy! Oh my god, the game is over just like that. There's just no way, man. Does the same thing again. Yorick masterclass. Unreal. So very well played. As you saw, like, those little... Let's just do, like, a tiny little bit of analysis on that game, on that play there. So it all kind of starts from, yeah, Diana dies and Lucian dies. We'll go back even a little bit further. So from here, I think it kind of, like, is the part we should pay attention to. Also, someone told me a tip. What is it? Control Shift? Yeah, I can zoom out. Sweet, let's do this. A viewer actually taught me this. Like, the more you know, you guys are so helpful. Alright, let's continue. So we have Slogdogs with about 10% HP. As you see, Nautilus is just being perma-slowed by the Maiden, and then also by the little ghouls. So we take out the Maiden first from the Xerath. Xerath flashes a nice dodge on the E, W, and the Q. And the little ghouls are just shredding him. Look how much damage they do. There's just nothing he can do about it. And Nautilus can't get away either because of Serylda's Grudge. Like, just stuff like this. Oh, so satisfying to watch. This is the reason he's like rank 1 Yorick in the world. Just a build pioneer that just absolutely makes the most of his champion. Sick gameplay. Such a scary champion when he gets ahead, honestly. I feel like if he hits an E here, nah, Lucian's got basically everything up. He can't really be killed. Alright, let's see what he buys with this. I think he goes to the Black Cleaver next, I want to say. A bit more ability haste, a bit more health. Obviously the armor shred's very, very nice. Let's see what he does. We still have Herald as well. No, we're not going to leave the side lane yet. We're going to take Scuttle. Black Cleaver. We have 5 items on the Yorick to Fiora's 1.5. Very nice. Well, I mean, it's not... Yeah, it's 5. It's boots and 4 items. Anyway, you get my point. So we're going top lane here. Obviously, still not wanting to leave the side lane. As the entire enemy team has just seen the power of the Yorick, they're not going to be wanting to leave him alone. The Demon King himself. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this type of gameplay, I actually have another gameplay coming up. Oh, it's an FF. I think. Did I see an FF? Or no, Surrender Vote failed. Sorry. I actually have another. I've been looking for more like unconventional sort of gameplays. So I have, I think, like a Skarner and an Ornn gameplay coming. So like kind of seeing how those champions lead the game from top lane. Trying to do like more unconventional stuff. I've got a couple of other pro play ones as well. You guys let me know what you want to see and I'll be happy to oblige. Like, you guys' support's been absolutely unreal lately. I couldn't be more appreciative of it. It's just sick to see, like, growing a little community. I see people joining the Discord and engaging with my existing friends and stuff that are in there. It's just been unreal. So I think kind of like the amount of gold that the Yorick pressure has allowed his team to get has just pretty much like lost, like, they're just stronger now. Like the whole, like, his mid lane is level 12. We have a level 16 Yorick here. Like, that's it. Just look at this. This tower's just fall to Herald. He literally just solo won this game. 2 plays into 2 Nexus towers. Like, two like 1v3s, 1v4s into 2 Nexus towers. Like, it's just... That's just it. That's just GG. I just can't even... Slogdogs' stuff's going to be in the description below. Guys, make sure you go leave him a follow and say Rival says hi. Like, absolutely, thank you so much for watching the gameplay. I had it so much fun. Like, it's crazy to watch a master work on his champion, so... yeah, go leave some love on Sloggy's channel. Leave a sub if you enjoy this type of content, a like and a comment, all that kind of thing. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.